Yesterday we saw two big announcements, one from Sony and one from Sigma. And I think the two combined are going to have huge ramifications for the photography market. Let's discuss. Let's start with Sony. They have just announced their new A7 Mark III. Now, a few weeks back, Sony released the A7R III. And while it looks like a fantastic camera, it's also a very expensive camera. But Sony have just come out with the A7 Mark III, and it looks very, very interesting. So let's run through the important specifications very quickly. Firstly, we have a brand new 24 megapixel sensor, which is slated to do 15 stops of dynamic range and offer excellent high ISO noise performance. So a good start for a budget level full frame. Secondly, Sony have decided to fit it with the same autofocus unit that's found in the A9. Now the A9 is Sony's flagship sports camera that costs twice the price. It has 693 autofocus points and covers about 93% of the frame. So in a top level camera, you'd expect it. I don't think anybody saw it coming in the A7 III. I'm not entirely sure why they put it in the A7 III, but I'm sure nobody's complaining. It can do 10 frames a second shooting speed, which is pretty bloody good, 4K video, twin SD card slots, and the new Z-type battery that's seen in the A9 and the A7R III, which offers something around 700 shots on a charge. It also has 5-axis in-body stabilization, which means that even if you are shooting on, say, a fast aperture prime lens that doesn't have stabilization, you still get stabilized shots. Compare those specs to the likes of the Canon 6D Mark II or the Nikon D750 and it looks like you've got a camera that would easily win a game of camera top trumps. Even more so when you realise that the price for all of that is $2,000 for the body. So that camera looks like an awesome piece of kit, especially for the money. But one of the big reasons why a lot of people say that they wouldn't switch from Canon over to Sony is because of the lenses. Because Sony doesn't have anywhere near the range of lenses available, and the lenses that they do have are all more expensive than the Canon equivalents. So a lot of people stick with Canon because they've got that bigger range of lenses. Enter the announcement from Sigma. Sigma announced yesterday that they are releasing 7 of their Art Prime lenses in native Sony E-mount. Now, you can already fit Sigma lenses onto the Sony body, but you have to use their MC11 adapter to do so. And using adapters can lead to potentially slower autofocus and misfocusing issues. I think using a native E-mount, that will remove those problems. Sigma's art lenses are pretty highly praised. I have 3 of them sitting on my shelf there and 1 of them attached to my camera now. They're known for having really good build quality, excellent image quality, and also being a lot more affordable than even the Canon equivalent lenses. Generally, people's biggest complaint with them is to do with the autofocus, because using a third-party lens on a DSLR can lead to potentially inaccurate autofocus or inconsistent autofocus. I don't think these lenses from Sigma are going to have quite the same problem on the Sony E-mount. Because they're a mirrorless camera and they're focusing using the sensor, I don't think there'll be the same focusing inconsistencies. So in the space of 24 hours, we have seen not only a brand new full frame camera that is potentially the best full frame camera on the market for the money, but also 7 new very affordable good quality lenses to go with it. Also, any new lenses that Sigma release will be available in E-mount, so their new 70mm f2.8 and 105mm f1.4 will be E-mount available when they hit the market. And it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing some of Sigma's other lenses come through in E-mount as well. But I think both of these announcements together are going to have massive repercussions throughout the photography world, because Sony have just shown us what can potentially be done with an affordable full-frame camera, unlike Canon with the 6D Mark II. Add to that affordable lenses from Sigma, and I think Canon might be forced to make some drastic changes very soon. But what do you think? Do you like the look of these announcements? Is it something that could entice you over to the Sony side of things? Or do you think that they're not really going to live up to the prospect? Leave your comment down below, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video.